Well, hi everyone, good evening, and welcome to the Until the Next Tee Practice Center for Deprived Golfers. It's Alex from UntilTheNextTee.blog, the home of organic golf reviews. So it's hard to believe that today's April 21st. I'm here wearing a beanie or a toque, depends where you're from. And we've had all kinds of crazy weather today, everything from sleet to snow to, well, no rain today, so that's a good thing, right? And actually we had a little bit of sunshine. But anyways, enough of the weather report. Hopefully we'll be out golfing soon with COVID going on up here, or worldwide, I should say. But hopefully golf will resume here in Ontario very quickly because I have some major testing to get done here. So the purpose of today's video is to introduce for testing a product that received a lot of fanfare down at the PGA show, or at least fanfare from yours truly, in the game improvement category for irons. So first of all, I have to thank John Claffey, who's the Vice President of Marketing for Tour Edge Golf. And without him, this opportunity wouldn't have presented itself. So what am I introducing today? Well, I did an unboxing video for these clubs before. However, it didn't take. Actually, the camera really skidsed out on me, so I have to do another unboxing video. Unfortunately, everything, of course, has been already hit, and the plastic, it only comes off once, right? So we're going to make do with what we have, and away we go. So, the irons themselves, the EXS 220 irons from Tour Edge Golf this year, performed well at the PGA show. They finished with a silver medal in the TZ Awards in the game improvement category, and there's a lot of technology packed into these irons, and I'm going to try to touch on a lot of that right now, and hopefully I can touch on all of it, maybe some of it. Either way, I'm hoping to tell you as much as I can about these irons. So we're going to start off with the more like a super game improvement iron, really, or also game improvement iron out of their stable this year. And that is the EXS 220H hybrid irons, seen here in my hands. These are a hollow body design, and you're going to notice that the sole is relatively wide. Okay, I'm going to flip it over like so. And there's a moderately thick top line as well. And you're going to notice that there is some offset there. These irons performed very well. And actually, since I've unwrapped them from the plastic and that, I don't remember them feeling this solid at the PGA show as they are right now, which is pretty crazy actually, considering how good they were. So, starting with the grip end of things here, we have the lambkin cross line here. That's the stock grip offering, and for purposes of my review, I went with just a standard wrap basically. So. Typically, I'm 2 wraps underneath a standard, not quite a mid-size, but not exactly standard either. And I opted to go with just their stock like I had at the PGA show. Of course, the grips is its history precedes itself. It has a good tack, good feel, good, not bad vibration control as well with it. So lambkin crossline, you can't go wrong with those grips for especially a stock offering. Between this or a Golf Pride Tour Velvet, I'll take the cross line every day of the week. Moving down, and this is where we're going to start getting into a little bit of their tech this year. You'll see that this is a steel shafted offering that I have in my hand. Okay, the shaft in question is from Two Tremper. This is the Elevate 95 in Stiff Flex. This shaft is more of a high spinning shaft, which means that you're going to get a good launch with it. You're going to have a good apex at the top of your ball flight. It's going to come down. You're going to have some stop and drop control with the shaft. That's always a great thing with these with the golf balls that are out nowadays. Whether it's a two-piece ball or a tour level ball, doesn't really matter. Going down the shaft a little bit further, we have a little sticker here that I want to point out. All products of Tour Edge, they're actually all assembled 100% in the USA, and that all takes place at their plant at Batavia, Illinois. So I'm amazed with how good Illinois is for golf equipment. It's crazy. So going down a little bit more, there's a lot to take away from this club. First of all, there's cup face. If you recognize the term cup face, you generally see that more in metal woods. And well, the reason why we have it in this club is because you get better ball speeds. It's more forgiving. It's harder across the whole face. Which brings me to another technology they have, which is their spiderweb VFT. So basically what happens, the whole face of the club is a sweet spot, essentially, everywhere. toe, heel, everywhere. It's just one massive sweet spot, which is great for helping those golfers that are in that, say, 20 to 30 handicap range. That said, it doesn't hurt a scratch golfer either. Another thing, of course, is that it's a hollow-bodied beauty. Here we go with the snow. But anyways, it's a hollow-bodied, and I mean, that is very en vogue right now throughout the entire golf industry. But one thing I've noticed over the last 2 years in particular, maybe 3 years, is that Tour Edge and Exotics, they do it very well. So major kudos to David Glad, the founder and CEO of Tour Edge. Not to mention, he's also the chief club designer. Trying to think what else I can tell you with this. Oh, the ramp sole. You're going to look here, and hopefully, yeah, there's the angle right that I'm looking for. You're going to notice that these clubs, they have what's called a ramp sole. So you're going to notice that there's going to be some relief here in the toe and in the heel areas to provide you better interaction with the turf. Especially if you're in the rough or you're in the first cut, you're just off the fairway. This is a great thing to have, and it's a good game improvement aspect of things for this club. Another thing I want to point out real fast on this 220H iron is the fact that they have this little notch here that you can see, and boy, the lighting's working out really good today. That notch, it helps fitters with your fitting. So basically, this allows fitters to go 4 degrees upright or 4 degrees flat without snapping a hosel, which is also covered by their lifetime warranty anyways. So you're never on the hook if you break a club, as long as you don't go wrapping it around a tree intentionally because you're mad that I know you left out your birdie putt or your bogey putt or whatever, and you got a double bogey. So limited lifetime warranty on their golf clubs, everything from Tour Edge. So that's the big brother or the big sister, depends on who you are. And, it doesn't look too bad actually in the address position as well. There is an offset. I'm looking at it right now, and yeah, it's noticeable. But the one thing I want to point out that this club here, for $120 US, it could make a really good bridge between, say, a hybrid and a utility iron or long iron. Where if you don't want that utility iron, you don't want that hybrid, this is a good meeting point. I'm going to move over now to the EXS 220 in a second. I just got to do a quick pause here and grab that club. Okay, so I'm back, and actually I had to grab the other club, and I'm actually in the process of cooking dinner as well right now. Got some burgers on the barbie. So anyways, we're all about multitasking here at the Until the Next Tee. So moving on to the EXS 220 irons. Going back to 2019, the EXS irons from that product range, they were actually the best game improvement iron at the golf show. And actually I changed the parameters from last year to this year, where actually they weren't the top game improvement, they were the top cast iron for the cast category. It was one of those clubs where it was in my hands and it just felt natural, felt great in my hands. So getting to the EXS 220 irons. Okay, so this is going to be more for your, say mid handicap, high handicap scratch golfer. We can use these too. There's a lot to love about these irons. First of all, I wanted to tell you that whether it's this club or it's the 220H, they both have the same lofts. So say you were a mid-high handicap and you wanted to have a little bit of help on the top end of the golf bag of your irons, where you may not want to carry a hybrid. Most people do nowadays, but say you didn't want to, you could easily blend the 220H with the 220s because they all have the same lofts, and the pitching wedge, just to let you know, is 42 degrees, so it's pretty strong, and the ball flight is strong. But thankfully, due to good shafts, you don't really have that low flat trajectory. You're still getting the ball up in the air, and it's landing softly. And actually, going back to the 220H real fast, that's part of the reason why that sole is so wide, is because there's you take the weight, you move it back, it's low and back, and it makes it easy to launch the golf ball, through the impact zone, and hopefully it helps you reduce your scores, right? And not to mention, maybe you'll knock down a few pins on the way, and that's always a lot of fun to walk up to a green and see your ball sitting there 2 feet from the pin or whatever, and you bend down, you fix your ball mark, and it's a good feeling to be able to do that, right? So the 220 irons. Again, I went with the Lambkin Crossline. I didn't have them do anything special with it, no extra wraps or nothing. And I also have the Elevate 95 shaft from True Temper in this as well. It's the Flex. personally speaking, if I were to maybe ask again, or set the review with Mr. Claffey over at Tour Edge, I probably would have went with one of their graphite offerings. They offer, great shafts. What they did with their One Technology, what they do, they introduce speed testing. All shafts are speed tested. So depending on the swing speed that you have, whether it's 80 miles per hour or 85 to 95 miles per hour or stronger than 95 miles per hour, they actually put all their heads through the process of finding out what shaft worked best for each swing speed. So, for example, someone that's 85 to 95 miles per hour, if you want the steel offering, the Elevate 95 is a shaft for you. But they also offer a terrific shaft for graphite, which is what I hit down there during the demo day at Orange County National. And that was the KBS Tour TGI graphite shaft, 80-gram shaft, and that thing it was so smooth, it felt great. I can't even tell you how good it really felt. So depending on your swing speed, they give you a baseline shaft. I would still use that as your baseline, and if you're looking for a little bit more, you know what? Go see a club fitter, and maybe they can find a better shaft, but you have a good basis and strong offerings right off the hop from Tour Edge. Again, you're going to see, for those that need to get their, want a different shaft than what comes with the club in the box when you order them. Simple. Your fitter can put the new shaft in. You can get your loft and lie angles adjusted, or sorry, your lie angle adjusted. Sorry, because of the notching here. And again, that's either 4 upright or 4 flat. Me personally, these are a standard lie. I'm typically 2 degrees flat, so I've had to make some adjustments during hitting into the practice net here on the practice center for the Deprived golfers. So next, we're going to actually look at the head. So you're going to see the same feature here with the ramp sole. Okay, gonna just change that angle a little bit, and there you can see. And again, you have that heel and toe relief from the turf. It's going to help the golf club slide through better. You're going to notice that this club is also has a thinner sole, and actually it's relatively considerable too, I guess. I'm going to just grab the other one real fast. Going to go off camera here, and I'll just grab the 220H just to compare. So there's, let's see here, if I can get that. I'm not very happy with it, but you can see if there is a difference between the width of the soles. So with that being said, there's a whole bunch of technology again that's put into this EXS 220 iron. If you were to explode the face, just make it explode kind of thing, you're going to see that there's something in here. There's like a TP insert, which helps with ball speed. There's a special coating on it. It's called our Launchpad technology. This is a hollow body iron as well. There's pretty good mass down in the bottom of the head. And so far, what I've seen into my net here is matching what I saw at the PGA show, where the ball flight, it gets up there pretty high, but it starts out pretty flat as well. And a lot of that has to do with the slight difference in where the weight's positioned in the cavity. Let's see here, what else? Hollow-bodied head, and I can't say enough about these. Again, if I could do things just a little bit differently moving forward, I would probably go with a graphite shaft, but this gives me a chance to look at the steel shaft as well. We've got the ramp sole. You have a slightly thinner top line in comparison, and this club actually sits up really good. There's not a whole lot of offset, and that said, that's a perfect segue. That said, the throughout the set, from forward as a pitching wedge or the A wedge, if you go with that route, the one thing that they do have is progressive blade lengths and offsets. So you're going to have a little less offset in the longer clubs, vice versa. And conversely, you're going to see a difference as you go through the set. This club here, I look down at it right now, and you don't see any of the cavity. It's pretty clean. You feel good over the ball in the address position, and this club here has performed fantastic into the net here. It just explodes off the face. I just can't say enough about it. Again, when things open up, if I had my own loft and lie machine here, I would definitely take it downstairs or wherever I would have my bench, and I would actually put that, I would set it at 2 degrees flat to match my specs. So, you know, I have noticed I've had a few toe hits, and you know, when I went back to my own club, which is 2 degrees flat, everything was in the sweet spot. So I made little adjustments, making the crucial mistake of fitting yourself to your clubs and your clubs not being fit to you. So of course, fitting is important, especially with line angles. So, but yeah, the ball just explodes off the face. I would easily put this club into play based on what I've seen down in Florida and into the net here. But of course, you know, when we go from a big wide range where we're picking out targets and whatnot, and you take that and go to a golf course where you have a thin shoot to hit, you have a tree blocking a green, things are a little bit different. You know, so, you know, you go from a sterile environment to a real-time environment. It's a big difference. So anyways, I'm going to be testing these clubs on the course as soon as we get a chance here in Ontario. And hopefully that's not too long from now. So I'm going to sign off. So in the meantime, keep your eyes peeled on to Until the Next Tee.blog for more coverage on these irons and a whole lot of other stuff. And more importantly, stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy. Take care. Signing off from Until the Next Tee.blog and the Until the Next Tee Practice Center for Deprived Golfers. It's Alex, and we'll see you on the next tee.